days, right? It doesn't really feel any different. And all of a sudden, one day, whether you think about it or not, boom, it all just clicks, and you look back and you're like, wow, this way of thinking, or this habit, or doing this thing this way really did help. It really did shape where I am at, and it's like I said, it's a very strange feeling. First thing I'll say is that click moment where everything feels like it is falling into place usually comes after months or even years of feeling lost, feeling like you don't know what you're doing, right? Again, it all starts from an idea. It all starts from doing something, right? Whether it's hitting the gym, whether you start just talking to people more, whether anything along those lines. And it's a strange feeling because you do this thing, you put more emphasis on your physique or your strength or your diet, whatever it may be. And for the longest time, right, you don't really notice any change. You don't really notice anything at all because you're putting so much emphasis onto this one thing, and then all of a sudden you wake up one day, you look in the mirror and you're like, holy moly, I have a really good physique after all this time in the gym, or all this time eating right. Or you might notice that the way you talk is a lot better, it's a lot more smooth, it's flowing a lot more, you're more comfortable, right? And there's a moment, right? And the moment is different for everyone. And with that moment, you kind of look at it and you're like, oh my goodness, I spoke really well, I spoke really strong, really commanding. Or again, you wake up and you look at yourself in the mirror and you're like, wow, my physique looks really good, I look really lean, really big. And that's why a lot of people take stuff like progress pictures, right? You look at yourself on day one, and then you take a progress picture every week, month, whatever, and then all of a sudden, an extended period of time has passed, and then you look back and you're like, oh my goodness, there's no way I look like this. That is unlike me. That looks nothing like me. I'm not that person, and it's crazy when that does happen. And progress doesn't happen day to day, right? Or you don't notice it day to day, because again, it just becomes habitual. It becomes so common in your routine, in your life, that it kind of just ingrains in you. Again, if you hit the gym 3 days a week, the same 3 days every week, or you eat right every single day, again, over an extended timeline, when you look back, you'll notice the results. And it's not like you pick a day, right? It's not like you go, alright, on the 1st of March, I'm going to look back and be like, wow, I have a good physique. That's not how it works. It is a very long time, and I'm talking, it can be upwards of like 2-3 plus years, and then you look back and it's like, holy moly, I really did achieve this goal, right? And of course, your goals will change throughout your journey, right? You might want to get bigger physique-wise, and then throughout your journey you realize, I might want to cut a little bit here, and then lean bulkier, so on and so forth. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you'll look back and you'll be like, wow, I achieved my, dream physique, I achieved my goal. And most of it does come down to discipline, right? Again, I've said it throughout the video, everything just becomes habitual. You ingrain it into your lifestyle. You find ways around certain problems to keep your routine and your habits the same. And again, eventually, let other people speak on your progress, right? You can't ask people and be like, oh, am I looking bigger, or am I looking leaner, or am I more social? You have to keep doing what you're doing, and then eventually either someone you care about, someone you have no idea exists, they will say something, and then you'll be like, oh my goodness, it's working, right? And it is a crazy thing to really think about. And of course, in order to get to that moment, you have to not care about other people and their opinions. You have to figure out what you want, figure out your own goals, and I've made a ton of videos previously on just starting your goals, right? But they do apply to this video as well, where it's what do you want to do, figure out how to do it, and just go do it. And all of a sudden, like I said, you look back and you'll be like, wow, it just clicked, right? You'll be like, today I'm gonna start acting more grown, I'm gonna start wearing more grown clothes, start dressing better, I'm gonna start hitting the gym, I'm gonna start leading people, and then you do that for X amount of time. Again, either you'll notice it one day in a certain situation, or someone will say something and you'll be like, oh my goodness, you're right. Now you won't be saying that, but it might just click in your head and you'll be like, oh my goodness, it just clicks. And that moment is, I said it before, it's a very interesting moment when it all clicks, because it's like, yes, I'm going in the right direction, but you can't settle. You can't sit there and be like, okay, I've hit this milestone, I've hit this point in my development, I'm going to settle because I'm now this person. That's not how it works. It's a constant improvement. And one thing you'll notice along whatever journey you decide to take is you will find different goals, right? You might start by talking to one person, and then you might talk to 5, and then 10, and then so on and so forth. And then eventually you start talking to, let's say, 50, and then you look back and you're like, wow, I really did grow from just talking to that one person. And now I'm way more social, I can start a conversation with ease. People's opinions don't bother me. And one of the most underrated things, and I have it written down here, it is, you move differently when you start following your goals and trusting yourself. You just start moving different, and you start carrying yourself with a lot more swagger, right? A lot more aura, as people say nowadays. And it really is a beautiful feeling. You feel like you are the man. You feel like you are becoming that person you want to become. And when you get in that zone, or you start feeling that way almost daily, it's a beautiful thing. And I reckon that's one of the most underrated feelings, is when you start feeling like the man. Now, of course, as humans, we all go through ebbs and flows, ups and downs, but when you start feeling like the man, oh, it is an insane feeling to feel. And your only job is to protect the momentum you've built. Like I said, do not settle. You have this momentum, right? And again, it could be a huge time frame, multiple years even, before you look back, or something makes you look back and you're like, wow, I really did become this person. But now you have all this momentum. You may not feel it currently, but when you look back, you're like, okay. So the momentum you have to take it with you and rise, right? You have to keep going, and again, you start setting more goals, further goals, higher goals, whatever it may be. And again, same thing, however many years down the line, you look back at where you are now and be like, wow, I really have grown so much.